أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فلا تعضلوهن أن ينكحن أن ينكحن أزواجهن إذا تراضوا بينهم بالمعروف. ذلك يوعظ به من كان منكم يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. ذلكم أزكى لكم وأطهر، والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. والوالدات يرضعن أولادهن حولين كاملين لمن أراد أن يتم الرضاعة. وعلى المولود له رزقهن وكسوتهن بالمعروف. لا تكلف نفس إلا وسعها. لا تضار والدة بولدها ولا مولود له بولده، وعلى الوارث مثل ذلك فإن أرادا فصالا عن تراض منهما وتشاور فلا جناح عليهما. وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم فلا جناح عليكم إذا سلمتم ما آتيتم بالمعروف. واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بما تعملون بصير. والذين يتوفون منكم ويذرون أزواجا يتربصن بأنفسهن أربعة أشهر وعشرا، فإذا بلغن أجلهن فلا جناح عليكم فيما فعلن في أنفسهن بالمعروف، والله بما تعملون خبير. ولا جناح عليكم فيما عرضتم به من خطبة النساء أو أكننتم في أنفسكم علم الله أنكم ستذكرونهن ولكن لا تواعدوهن سرا إلا أن تقولوا قولا معروفا ولا تعزموا عقدة النكاح حتى يبلغ الكتاب أجله واعلموا أن الله يعلم ما في أنفسكم فاحذروه واعلموا أن الله غفور حليم صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغ رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.
Jazakallah. Yes, Allah give you reward for your recitation and fill your heart with all the nur of the barakat of Quran Sharif. So, what we heard today, inshallah, the topic continues in about, the marriage life. And this particular ayat is talking about iddat, or a person when he divorces his wife. So this is called iddat, and iddat in terms of a divorced woman is 3 months. And this is the one, 3 months, that if she's pregnant, and if she's pregnant, her term should be done and all the matters should be done. And the other kind of iddat is one person pass away and he leaves a wife behind. So in that case, the iddat is different. Just like, with a divorced woman, the iddat is 3 months. But for a person, for a widow, the divorce is for a widow, the iddat is 4 months and 10 days. And there are two kinds of iddats. So these, the second kind of iddat, in which a widow, actually that's a grieving period for her. So 4 months and 10 days, she grieves, and she's not supposed to leave the house unless it is an emergency or there's no around. So she grieves her husband for 4 months and 10 days in the her husband's home. And after that, if she wants to remarry, there's no obligation on her to hold herself, because she's free. Her grieving period of 4 months and 10 days is over. So sort of Islam is a religion of moderation. So in which some religions, like when a woman's husband dies and she became a widow, she was prevent, like in form of Hindu, they were not allowed to marry again. So a person, a widow, was supposed to wear the white sari all her life and spend all her life grieving her husband. In some extreme cases, it was a practice of sati. Sati means, in some of the extreme Hindu cultures, what they would do when husband died, and on the funeral pyre of her husband, there was a parallel funeral pyre for the wife who was alive, so she was burned alive. Islam reject all those things. And other extreme of that would be, like, there's no grieving period. Right after the husband passes away, the woman is ready to marry the second day. That is again other extreme. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has describing that 4 months and 10 days is the grieving period, in which no marriage suggestions should go to her, nor she should suggest that she's willing to marry somebody. That's because of her grieving period. And after that, she's so now another thing is talking about is, how about the babies who are left after the divorce? What should happen? So if the husband and wife are divorced, and they left behind a child which required nursing, a vet nursing. So it is up to the mutual agreement that husband and wife, the right of a child is to be a vet nurse for 2 years complete. 2 complete years is his right. But if both husband and wife agree that uh, they want to stop vet nursing the child, they can do it early. So if they, it can either the biological mother can breastfeed the baby for 2 years, or they can hire a vet nurse to do that. And there are Sharia ahkam for that as well. So if a woman vet nurse a baby, so she become the razai ma, or the mother. So that marriage between the a woman who has milked the vet nurse a child, so her daughters became haram for the marriage for that uh, uh, child, because they became siblings. And Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I would like to say that when he was born, the first person he drank the milk of was Bibi Amna. And after that, there was another lady, her name was Sobia. So Sobia, Bibi Sobia, she witnessed Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for a few days. And uh, that was actually the slave lady of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam uncle, Abu Lahab. So when Abu Lahab's slave lady, Sobia, she came and told Abu Lahab that, your deceased brother, wife, Bibi Amna, had a baby. So he was so rejoiced, with a finger gesture, he did it like that. That means you are free to go. And uh, she was, he rejoiced. So much later, all his life, he was against Islam and died in the state of kufr. But Hazrat Abbas saw Abu Lahab when he died, and when he came in the dream, Abu Lahab. So Hazrat Abbas asked him that, how are you doing? So he said, don't ask me. Nothing good came after my death. Nothing, no comfort, no joy, nothing, except for a day of Monday, that, on my finger, I get a little bit of water. I suck my own finger, and little bit of water comes. Other than that, there's no. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was born on Monday, and he, as a gesture, freed his slave girl Sobia, like that. So we were talking about, uh, Sobia also fed milk to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and at this same time, Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam other uncle, Hazrat Hamza, he was just a little bit older than Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So although he was the uncle, but in the age they were very close. And Bibi Sobia also met nurse Hazrat Hamza. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had his uncle was also his milk brother, and that's why there was a special bond between Hazrat Hamza and Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, not only because of uncle and nephew, but as a brother who shared milk. And later on, Bibi Halima Sadia came to Makkah, and Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spent. So in this Quran Sharif, it's saying Allah Subhanahu wa Taala that it is right of the child to be milked for 2 years whole, and that's what Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sunnat is also, that when he went to the tribe of Banu Saad, so Halima Sadia, uh, fed him for 2 years complete. Only after that he came back to Makkah. And this is this topic again continues, that that when you offer any gesture of marriage, so after uh, after the grieving period of iddat, 4 months and 10 days, it is local for that. So this is a topic that is, uh, you know, more detail discussed in Surah Nisa as well. So inshallah, in the Surah Nisa, we will talk more about it. But we will talk about the childhood of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that Bibi Halima Sadia. Uh, when he spent 2 years, Hazrat Bibi Halima Sadia, after 2 years, stopped feeding Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam after 2 whole years, and she came back from Banu Sa'ad to Makkah. But although it was no justification to hold Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Banu Sa'ad tribe, especially after she had stopped feeding him milk after 2 years. But in the 2 years, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with the tribe of Banu Sa'ad, Bibi Halima Sadia had seen a lot of barakats of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So she wanted to hold Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in her house. So when she took Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam back to Makkah and asked Bibi Amna that I want to keep him, because at that time there was a pandemic going on in Makkah. So she said that I want to keep Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So when she insists too much, Bibi Amna allowed Bibi Halima Sadia to take back Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to her tribe. So that's what she did. But after that, it was the early age, and Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was being raised in Banu Sa'ad. But the first incident of Shaqul Qamar happened. Shaqul Sadr, I mean. Shaqul Sadr happened that one day, one of the child of Hazrat Halima Sadia, he came running that somebody, Mazallah, had murdered our Qurayshi brother. So she was very much frightened. So she went where Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was there. And Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam described that, 3 people came who are wearing very white clothes. They put me down on that rock, ripped open my chest and took out something and threw it away. So what was that? That then the 3 angels descended from heavens. And what they did in the childhood, they rip open the Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam chest. They took out a small thing and they said that this is the clot of shaitan. So they took it out and threw it, and then they did the surgery again, or whatever they did that. And Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that I never felt any pain in that. So after that, Bibi Halima Sadia consulted her husband, Haris, and Hazrat Haris said that, I fear there's some kind of, extra paranormal activities going on. So we should return. We cannot protect this child anymore. So we should return it to the mother. So that's what they did. They went back to Makkah and they say that, we cannot guarantee the safety of your child. That's what they said to Bibi Amna. So Bibi Amna was very surprised because she talked to Halima Sadia and said that, with a lot of insistence and with a lot of love, you took him and you returned him so quickly. What was the reason? So that's when Bibi Halima Sadia retold the whole story of Shaqul Sadr. And this Shaqul Sadr, so I feel that Mazallah Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, she did not understand, might be possessed by some other powers. So Bibi Amna disagreed with that and said that my child is a very blessed child. And she said that all kind of miracles that happened during her pregnancy and the childbirth. So anyway, after that, she returned. And that's why, a special bond developed between Hazrat, because 3 people nursed Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam: Bibi Amna, Bibi Sobia, and Bibi Halima. So Bibi Halima kept contact with Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam family. When Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got married with Bibi Khadija, so Hazrat Halima Sadia was in there visiting Makkah, although she was from the tribe of Banu Sa'ad, which is in the outskirts of Medina. around the vicinity of Taif, but she had visited and attended the wedding of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with Bibi Khadija. The tomb of Bibi Halima Sadia, that is right in the Jannatul Baqi. Although this Saudi Arab government that came, they destroyed all the mazars of Jannatul Baqi. But Hazrat Halima Sadia's, her tomb is not too far from Hazrat Usman Ghani's tomb. And there's some kind of still some boundary there, and she's buried there. Bibi Sobia, she also witnessed Hazrat Hamza. So Hazrat Hamza had a special bond, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam loved him so much that during the Battle of Uhud, when Hazrat Hamza fell, and in Battle of after Battle of Uhud, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam cried, and there were 70 martyrs in the Battle of Uhud. So when Hazrat Hamza, his janaza came, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam read the Salatul Janaza on him, and people tried to lift up his body and try to take it for the burial, but he refused. He said, just leave the namaz, the body of Hazrat Hamza there. And he recited 70 namaz janaza that day. And every time he will lead a namaz janaza of anybody, he would also read the namaz janaza of Hazrat Hamza. So Hazrat Hamza's namaz janaza was recited, was done 70 times. So on the 7th year of Hijrat, when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam visited and performed the first Umrah, that is called Umratul Qada, on the 7th year of Hijrat. So when he was going back, so according to Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which happened on the 6th year of Hijrat, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was to visit and stayed only with 3 days. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on the 7th year performed Salatul, the pilgrimage and Umratul Qada, that's what it's called. And when he was going back, so one of the daughter of Hazrat Hamza, who was left behind in Makkah, came and said, uncle, and hugged Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Bibi Umama, the daughter of Hazrat Hamza, he called Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam Chacha Jan or uncle. The reason for that is, although she was cousin, she was a cousin, means that but because of the relationship of that they had the same veterinary nurse, Bibi Sobia, so that's why she called it. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took her back to Medina and gave in the custody of his other cousin, Hazrat Jafar, who had just recently returned from Habsha after the first thing. So, as I said, these divorce and this iddat matters, and more on the husband-wife relationship will be discussed in inshallah Surah Nisa. So, if somebody, brother, has any questions or discussion, we will inshallah discuss that. Any brothers have any questions, inshallah?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Just one question. Bibi Halima took care of Rasulullah near Makkah, right? So you